Hello, my name is Maggie Peard, and I'm the Sustainability and Resilience Officer in town. I'll be presenting on Article 13, which is a technical correction to the general bylaw concerning the regulation of fossil fuels in our buildings. This article is a key step in meeting the town's previously set climate goals. So in 2020, town meeting voted on a climate emergency declaration, which called for Lexington to reach net zero emissions by 2035. Because approximately 1/3 of our carbon emissions come from natural gas and oil, largely to heat and cool our buildings, moving towards electrification of our buildings is essential. This article is part of a long-time town effort to restrict the use of fossil fuels in buildings to meet those goals. So in March of 2021, Article 29 passed at annual town meeting by over 90%. This article included a home rule petition to authorize Lexington to regulate fossil fuel infrastructure and an actual bylaw to enact regulation of fossil fuel infrastructure in new buildings and major renovations. As this was happening, 10 other communities passed similar home rule petitions. Currently, those home rule petitions and bylaws have not yet been approved by the Attorney General office, so they're not in effect. There's a development over the summer, though, when Massachusetts passed an act driving clean energy and offshore wind. This climate bill includes a DOER demonstration pilot for 10 communities to regulate fossil fuel infrastructure in new construction and major renovations. Participating communities are required to meet 10% threshold on the subsidized housing inventory. And part of this pilot, there's exemptions for research laboratories for scientific or medical research, hospitals, and medical offices. DOER is required to issue regulations no later than July 1st of next year. So Lexington is eager to be part of this pilot, and it currently already meets the housing affordability threshold. It has 11.2% of Lexington's units are SHI units. And to express our formal interest, the town sent a letter to DOER back in August, formally expressing the interest in being part of the pilot. So with input from town council, this amendment is merely looking to streamline the application process by ensuring our previously passed local bylaw is in compliance with state regulations. And in the meantime, the town staff will be preparing to be ready to enforce the bylaw by the effective date. So the motion is asking for authorization to the select board to apply to DOER's demonstration program with the legislation that was previously approved by town meeting in 2021. It makes minor technical corrections to ensure it is in line with the state's programs. I'll just walk through the amendments that are being made. The first is to the effective date. It goes from the previous date of December 2022 or 6 months to a period of 90 days, given that this has been an ongoing effort that town has been considering for quite a while now. The definition here of fossil fuel infrastructure has just been tweaked so that the language matches what is in the state legislation. As for the exemptions, the Lexington bylaw already had exemptions for life science buildings and research laboratories for scientific or medical research. We just added an exception for hospitals, again, just to be in line with the state language. And this final piece is it adds a few lines about reporting, because reporting to DOER will be a requirement for communities participating in the pilot program. So if this article passes, Lexington will just be waiting for guidance from DOER of how to apply to the pilot program. And we think that these amendments will put Lexington in a very good position to be accepted as one of the 10 communities. From there, we would just be waiting for home rule petitions and the amended bylaw to be approved by DOER and probably the Attorney General's office. This article is an essential step in moving Lexington away from fossil fuels towards being a net zero community.